Oh, so I thought I'd take a few minutes to make another video. I'm just heading out to a training session now to meet my Japanese teacher, so that'll be a good experience. But before that, I kind of wanted to go back a little bit and talk about how I actually got the job at Interac. So an introduction to the whole process, if you will. So I was interested in applying for a job in Japan, and I found their website online, and I probably saw quite a lot of negative feedback about the business and their practices. I like to get first-hand experience of things before I make my own decision, so I thought I would speak to them, get a feel, and then move ahead if I felt comfortable. The first stage was an application form of sorts, but it was very basic, and it was quite easy to fill in. Why do you want to work here? Not much space really compared to the JET application, and then just some details about your own education, employment, things like that. After filling all of that in, I heard back quite soon over the telephone from the UK office, and they asked if I would be free to talk on Skype, a little bit more telephone screenery thing. And I was actually off work that week, so I said, yeah, definitely, let's go ahead and do it. That lasted about half an hour, and it was very generic, informal questions around motivations, preconceptions about Japan, things like that. So I found it very useful just to open up and talk about the things that I liked and why I liked them. It was a couple of weeks after that I was told I would be able to visit an assessment centre, although they didn't call it an assessment centre, they called it a seminar day. So a seminar I thought I would just be watching, but when I received the email I found out that I had some preparation to do, including the recorded bit where you teach a practice lesson. You've probably heard about that. There was going to be a one-to-one interview session, and there was a grammar test, which I wasn't too worried about. And I was told that there would be other people there, and there was, but there was only 3 other people. I was the 4th, and it was in a hotel bar sort of area, just like an off room, so it wasn't a dedicated location. That went okay. It lasted around, what time did we get there? 3 to 8? It must have been about 7 hours, to be honest, of talking. And it was split up into different sections that were quite useful. You had the initial section where you just talked about Japan and the culture and the way that they work, sort of trying to scare you a little bit into, hey, it's a different place, it's a different culture, people act differently. Most of it we knew. Everyone seemed to be relatively on board with the ideas. After that, we were told we would have to complete a grammar test, while each of us went in to record our separate 5-minute to 7-minute sections. And we can do a separate talk on that, I think, because it is quite useful. Once we'd finished the grammar test, we had a sheet, maybe 4 A4 pieces of paper, and we had to fill in all of these peculiar questions. It was quite a while ago, so I don't remember them fully now, but they ranged from how early should you be for work, under what circumstances is it okay to be late, what illness would stop you from coming to work, things like that. So I just put the most idyllic answers that I thought would be right. You'd probably do the same. And after that was the one-to-one, which I thought would be the real element of the interview. I thought that's where they would really grill us about our motivation and our dedication to the role. But it was just an exchanging of photographs and documents, really. So I think that all came beforehand. I don't know how much actual review they do into those things, but we had to fill it in anyway. And then, that was in March. It wasn't until Good Friday, so maybe like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, I got the "You've been successful" email. But you weren't given any placement details or any dates or anything like that. That was all going to come later. And it did come later. About 4 weeks later, I got a phone call from Tokyo saying, congratulations again, we want to place you in an area of Osaka, South Osaka, So I accepted that openly because it was the job offer, really. And then they said, but you'll only have guaranteed work until March 2016, which I thought was a bit peculiar, but I went along with it because I'd been offered the job. And then I was pushing really for a date to be told that I could come to Japan, because I wanted to try and get there a little bit earlier, set some stuff up at my own expense, obviously. But they were hesitant to give that out. And then eventually they said, okay, well, it's going to start on this date, so you can come along if you want.